attorney.
I'm Gary Campbell. I'm a real estate developer. I contribute to the HOTspot, and I'm here to teach y'all about real estate.
So we're excited to talk to you guys again. We're starting to do a lot more regular content, and one of the things we want to do is be very responsive to some of the issues that you all are facing as you start your business, as you kind of get ready to start a business, or even think about what kind of business that you want. So what we do is we get a lot of messages. I think, Gary, you're getting a bunch of DMs every day, and so we're trying to kind of pick some of those out and share those with you.
Right, so this segment's called Friday Week in Review. You ask, we answer. So I've got a few questions here. The first one, and this is a very broad one, is, hey, I'm 16 years old and I have $1,000. When I turn 18, what should I do with it? Do you want to answer this one first? Or?
Yeah, so I think that's kind of a common problem is when you have just a little bit of capital, what do you do with it? And so a lot of people who've decided, and I know Gary's going to tell you a little bit more about this, not to go the traditional route, right? So you decided I don't want to go to college, either not yet, maybe later, delay it until I make some money, or maybe not at all. So what do you do with the money that you have or that you've saved if you want to start a business? So I think that's a question that you probably get a whole lot.
Right, so first off they said, hey, I'm 16, what do I do with the money when I turn 18? And there's a 2-year gap there. So my first question would be, why are you waiting till you turn 18? It's not like there's a law out there that says you can't invest in your future when you're 16 rather than 18. So my advice to them was to, attack it. Don't wait. I mean, you're only losing the life that you have, so you may as well take advantage of what you have now. Now, if you want to earn some more money, so when you turn 18 you have more to invest, that's one thing. But if you're just going to sit there and not do anything with it, I just didn't see the point in that. So my advice would be, go ahead and find something to invest in. If you don't know what it is, if in the group we offer advice and we kind of see what your situation is and we try to help you out with that. But just don't sit around and be lethargical, because it's just, you're literally wasting your life. So that's
a good point. And don't wait for someone to bring you the idea. I think one of the things that I've seen that is really positive is to sit down and really kind of write out what you want to spend your days doing. When do you want to wake up in the morning? What time do you want to go to work? What time do you want to get off of work? What do you need your weekends free? Really do some of that soul searching to figure out, what does my quality of life need to look like? Because I can guarantee you, if your quality of life is not good, no matter what job you end up in or what company you end up starting, you're not going to last very long. So I always tell people, you've got to sit down and really think about, what does my life need to look like so that I'm going to commit to making that kind of decision. I think that's very important.
right. And another thing that I pointed out was, you can't really ask me what to do with your money, because I don't know your personality. I don't know what you're into, because I'm all about real estate. I'm a developer. I like multifamily complexes. That's very specific. That's what I like to do. That's not necessarily what Jim's going to want to do, or Sarah. So my advice is, what do you like to do, really? What do you enjoy doing with your time, and how do you want to make money out of it? How much money do you want to make? It's really all about you. I don't want to advise anyone on something that I enjoy doing, because everybody's different. It's all about preference.
Right. Well, and what we'll be doing is we will teach you, once you decide what you want to do, then we will help you convert it into actually monetizing it. So I think that's really what our community is all about, is find your passion first, and then let us help you figure out the structure to put behind it so that you can actually make money at it. And I think whether you have a full-time job right now and you're coming to us because you want to do something on the side, or you have no idea whatsoever what you want to do and you're starting off, I think it's the same system. So if you had $1,000 and you didn't really know what to do with it, I always recommend you invest in yourself and you educate yourself on things that will be relevant to the business that you want to do, or the life that you want to lead. That's not a lot of money, but then again, it can be quite a lot of money, because you can buy a lot of content in terms of really drilling down and seeing what you're all about.
Absolutely.
So I think we got another question that we want to share with you guys, and definitely be sure to text us or email us, go to our website, ask your question, because the more responsive we are to you, I think the more relevant content we'll be able to share with you, because I know there's a lot of issues out there, and so we want to make sure that we get right to where you guys need us to be. There's like that.
Right. So the next question was from, excuse me if I butcher this, but Usmain Dalio out of Madrid, Spain. And this question was that he needed help with college, and should he take on debt or not. And I told them straight up that I was going to be honest with them, that I didn't go to college. I didn't finish mainly because I didn't believe in it. And I don't believe that it's modernized or it's caught up enough with the education that I wanted to have. So like I said, I'm a real estate developer. I focus on real estate development, multifamily complex investing. And I didn't find any courses that really went into detail on that. And the biggest thing to me was when I first went to college. I went for a year and a half, and it was like high school again. It was 2 years of high school, but 3 times more expensive. So my advice to him was, really consider what you're going to take on, how much debt, is it really worth your time, could you find better content elsewhere, and education services elsewhere, because nowadays with YouTube you can get an MBA online. As some people may disagree with that, but from what I've seen, YouTube has all the resources you need to do what you want to do. So my advice to him was to really consider if it's worth your time.
Well, that's a good point. And one of the things I wanted to share is, there's 2 types of debt. There's what's called secured debt and there's unsecured debt. So secured debt means just that. It is secured by an asset. So that could be a house or a car or something tangible. Unsecured debt is your classic credit card debt or your school loan debt, because technically, while your college degree might be an asset, the market has fluctuated, at least in what I've seen a lot of people go through. You are not guaranteed a job that will be sufficient to pay off your school loans anytime soon. So that is a large chunk of unsecured debt that I think you need to be very careful with, because secured debt, a lot of times they'll say that's fine, right? Especially in real estate, if you have something that's secured, you can leverage that. That can be collateralized. It's the unsecured debt that you really want to watch for. However, having said that, sometimes you need to expand, right? You may need to expand to set up an office or set up a studio like what we did here, or set up, to kind of get yourself started. So I think there is a way to really look at that debt and leverage that debt and really utilize that debt. But I think you have to be very aware of when you're incurring it, how long you're going to have it, and how you're going to have some sort of a payment reschedule, because I think that's where you get in trouble. And the problem is debt is a bit of a slippery slope. Once you start having it, you feel like it's fine, then you get more of it, and then you get more of it, and you get more of it, and pretty soon you're done. So I think it's really important to look at what kind of debt you're incurring and then have some schedule of how you want to pay it off.
Right, and to those of you who are out there in college right now, I'm not hating on your degree, because obviously Angela's a lawyer. She had to go to school to get her bar license, go through law school. And for those of you electrical engineers, mechanical engineer, go do it. I'm just saying from my experience, what I wanted to do specifically, they really couldn't offer much in terms of value add to what I wanted to do. I could find everything I really needed online from mentors like the HOTspot. And that really put it together for me. So those with specific professions, do what you got to do, go to college. I'm with you 100%. But for those of you who are really going for a general degree, expecting to get a job right after college, it's just not how it is anymore. College is like almost every other market. It's oversaturated at the moment. Like I said, this is what I believe. And there's too many people with the regular degrees applying for the same job. So it's gotten a lot harder. It's not what it used to be back in our parents' days, and it's changed a lot. So I think there was an announcement recently. Apple, Google, and another big tech company don't even require college degrees anymore, mainly because they're just a piece of paper. Someone could have a psychology degree and then go work for a sales company. It doesn't really matter anymore. People are just going to get the paper, and it's just too many people trying to do the same thing. And it's just, if you're there trying to get a general degree to get a job, I wouldn't just solely rely on that and get debt for that.
Right. And one of the things that we've seen in our community, and I think this is one of the messages that we're going to continue to disseminate into the community, is that a lot of your friends and family are not going to understand that you're not going to college, right? And so you need to have some sort of answer that you can give that is going to make sense to you, and also address the issue. So it's like what Gary was saying, a lot of that is it's what everybody did. They just went to college and didn't really think about it. Everybody was told you got to go to college, that's how you get the job. I think everybody's read Rich Dad, Poor Dad at some point. That's what they said. So when you start to buck that system, it's not always well received. You may get pushback from your parents. You may have a lot of people thinking you're crazy. So you need to be armed with some factual information where you can respond to that, because that's real pressure. And obviously you don't want to disappoint your parents, you don't want to disappoint your friends and family. So you have to be able to articulate what you're doing. And the more clear you are in what you're doing and how you're going to do it, then you'll be able to answer some of those questions. And that can be a lot of pressure. A lot of our DMs are, I don't know what I'm doing, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to go to college, so what else can I do, and how do I defend that against some of the pushback that you're going to get?
Right, and I'll actually be doing a whole segment on that topic because it's very broad, it's controversial still, and really how to deal with the people that'll go against you, and kind of share some of my experiences and maybe some tips that'll help everyone out there with that decision. Like I said, I don't want to make anybody not go to college if they're doing a professional job like mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, all that stuff, but for those that are on the edge and it's a general topic you feel pressured going into it, I would definitely check out that segment. I'll be doing it next week. I think it'll be very good, and it'll be something they need to hear. Maybe give you some ammunition per se to use against the people that are doubting you, trying to pressure you into going, trying to make you feel, torpedo you. Yes, I'll share some stories, and really just go from there and try to help everyone out there that's going through that same feeling.
Well, and along those same lines, even if you're in college or you have your 9-to-5 job right after college, what you always have to be aware of is that going back to operational capital versus investment capital, you still want something on the side. So you may start a side business while you're in college, or you may start a side business while you're working 9 to 5 at a regular job. So I think that the one is not exclusive. It's not that you have to give up college in order to do this. Sometimes you can do it together. Of course, it's a lot more time commitment. And of course the money's going to be a big factor, but I don't think you have to rule one out necessarily. I like to tell people college isn't going anywhere. You can still go. I know 50-year-olds who go back to college and get their degrees. So it's not something that you have to do in the order that you think you might have to do it.
Hey guys, we have the third question here for this week in review, and the question was that he's 16 years old and he started his dropshipping company. And he's wondering how he can start to grow it because he wants to start bringing in extra money, and he's just young and he kind of wants direction. So I guess I'll start off. So I'm not into drop shipping or e-commerce. I'm a real estate developer, like I've said, and I focus on a very specific part of the real estate market. But just like any other business, you've got to know how to scale and put the structures in place so you can scale, because the most important part, and I'll do a segment on this on what not to do Wednesdays, is you've got to build a foundation. You've got to know exactly, every procedure before you start going out and doing crazy stuff, because next thing you know, you'll be in the middle of something that, like building a logo when you need to have an LLC first. And
activity is not results.
Right, exactly. Haste makes waste as well. So my biggest piece of advice would be to have that structure in place. And Angela can talk a little bit more in depth on that. So.
Right. So, I've worked with hundreds of companies. I've been a lawyer for almost 20 years. And one of the things that I see over and over and over again is people do not take the time to put a business plan together. And I know it's not sexy and I know it's not that fun to do, but what it does is that is your operating agreement for your business. That tells you where you're starting, where you want to get to, and the roadmap that you're going to take to get there. And it is a vital document. And if you learn nothing else in your business at the beginning, take the time, sit down with your team, put together that business plan, because that is your playbook.
Right, and it's like driving in the dark. If you don't look at the map and know where you're kind of wanting to go, you'll just end up in a ditch. So my advice to Victor and all those about you, you're kind of on the, a little bit younger and starting your own small side business, really kind of sit down, and it could be as simple as writing down, how much I want to make a week, month, whatever. What do I see? Where do I see this going? Is it long-term, short-term? Is it just a hobby? Is this kind of something what you want to do full-time? And really think, just take the time to sit down and plan it out, because that 5 minutes of planning could save you hours of time of just scrambling around trying to fix something that you messed up.
Well, that's a good point. And the other thing that I always teach is that you've got to develop good business habits, okay? And it takes anywhere from 18 to 21 days to develop a habit, right? So, and I'll give you a little test. How many people put on their pants, right side, then the left side? We'll try it for the next week the other way around and see how hard that is, because you don't think about how to put your pant legs on, but you absolutely do it the same way every day until you try not to do it that way, and it's really hard. So what you're doing is you're training yourself to develop these good business habits. So one of the things that we do here is we make sure that every Monday morning we have our to-do list, and we sit down with our team and we discuss what needs to get done this week. And this is not a global list. This is literally what can be done by Friday, because at the other end of the bookcase, I call it the bookend, is what have we accomplished. And that gives you Wednesday to make sure that you are hitting or close to hitting that goal on Friday. And if you get in the habit of doing that, starting your to-do list on Monday and reviewing it on Friday and making sure anything that comes up is hit on Wednesday, you will start to develop a very, very efficient routine. And for a small operation with a small team, that is vital to staying in business at all.
Absolutely. All right, guys, that wraps up this episode of Week in Review, You Ask, We Answer. I just want to remind you guys, if you want to check us out more and check out memberships that we offer at the HOTspot, go to hotspoton59.com. We'll have it linked up with a picture. And also you can email me directly or Angela directly on our team page. Just click the email button. And we'd love to hear some feedback, maybe some questions that you'd like answered next week. And just go check out our website.
Right. One of the things we'll be asking when we talk to you in person is sort of where your business is. Are you really in the true startup phase? Have you started the business? Do you have a business idea? Do you have a business plan? Sort of where are you on the scale? Because we can take companies anywhere from very beginning startup to expansion to mergers and acquisitions to IPOs. I mean, we have the full range. I've been working on this in this space for a very long time. And I know now why 9 out of every 10 businesses fail, so we're hoping that we can cut those numbers and not leave so many statistics out there.
Absolutely. See you guys next time.
Have a good one.